where'd he go? Like, Lenny's just gone. It's hot too. It's like middle of summer.
Yeah, it was.
I'm like, I'm staying in the air condition. She's an hour and a half late. Where'd Lenny go? Real estate in Brevard County. Tell me why real estate interests you.
Well, way back when I was renting, and before that, me and my brother used to talk real estate about flipping houses and things like that, and really never really came of anything, but the interest is always there. And then, of course, I was renting an apartment and blah blah blah. And fast forward a few years, and I just found myself got tired of renting.
Paying somebody else's mortgage.
You got it. I was paying somebody's mortgage 100%, and I wanted a better life for my daughter. Mm-hmm. And long story short, we seen a house. It was up for sale. Well, we didn't know it was up for sale at the time, and so we looked peeking in the window, and neighbor came across the street, and blah blah blah, and we ended up renting it. I mean, we ended up purchasing it, and the agent that helped me out was amazing. Mm-hmm. So, and from start to finish, they were there, mm-hmm. and it was just one of those things where I was just like, I really want to help somebody like that, and I didn't have the knowledge about what was the difference between renting versus buying, and we went through that first-time home buyers course, mm-hmm. and so that became the process of me. That was my journey to wanting to help somebody in real estate, and that's why I wanted to be in real estate, because I just really wanted to help the next person achieve their American dream, so to speak.
Yeah, it's interesting in real estate, when I ask agents like why they got into the business, I think it's very similar to your story. Somebody did an amazing job, right? And you're like, hey, that changed my life and I want to do that for others. Or somebody did a terrible job and it's like, I want to go do that and do it at a better level. I remember you when you were brand spanking new and you walked into the office and I was like, hey, this Lenny guy, there's something special about this Lenny guy, right? You're just a people person.
Yes, absolutely. I love talking to people. I love helping people. I love being around people. Yeah. You know me on phone calls, but I love face-to-face conversations. I think they're the most real. Mm-hmm. I think your genuine personality will shine in front of someone when you're talking to people. And there's no shield. They're either going to get you, they see you, and that's that. So that's what drove me towards actual real estate of, I know I can do this business.
Yeah. But when you walked in the office, I was like, okay, someday I'm going to partner with Lenny. Someday I'm going to work with Lenny. And I just knew, right? There's certain people that walk into an office and you were one of those that you could tell, like, you lit up the room. You're not afraid to talk to anybody. You're not afraid to ask questions, get help, right? Like all of those sort of things that I think is critical when you're looking to get into a service related business, right?
Absolutely.
Like, we are here to serve families. And so tell me what your journey in real estate has been.
Oh, like. Man. Oh, okay. Well, when we talk about when I first walked in that office, it was, honestly, it was a little daunting at first. And you go in this business and you look from the outside in and you think everything's just so, people like yourself and all the higher up, they make it look so easy. And you guys been doing this business you got to remember, you guys been doing this business for years and years and years. Yeah. And I will be there one day. And I wasn't afraid of doing the work. It was just more afraid of we talk about drunk monkeys all the time. Mm-hmm. And my drunk monkey was, what if I fail?
Right.
And so that was always in the back of my head. I just don't want to fail anybody being transactional. But my journey really, I was just like, yeah, I can do this. I want to do this. So
it's not as easy as it.
It is not. It is not. Anybody who tells you realty is easy, I don't see it. We do work hard at everything you do in this business. It doesn't, clients just don't jump in your lap. You do work for them. And I guess that deters a lot of people when it shines the light that, hey, I want to get in this business. And then they're like a month down the road, they're like, hey, what's going on? Right. And they're not getting the business that they want.
Well, everybody gets into it because they think it's a flexible, easy job.
Absolutely.
And you actually have to work twice as hard.
Yes, you do.
Everybody wants to see houses on nights and weekends.
Yeah.
And that's great, but you got to have conversations with people 9 to 5 to build your schedule so that you can go be on listing appointments with buyers, 5 to 9 or whatever it might be, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, yeah, it's pretty interesting because we see it all the time. Oh, I'm new. I got all this energy.
Oh yeah,
it's exciting. So early on, you were a solo agent.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I was.
You, which is normal, right? Like I think 90+% of agents out there, right, like start as a solo agent, and you figure out, okay, what education can I get around, right? Because you take the state exam that teaches you nothing really about. It teaches you how to stay out of jail, not break the law, right? Like real estate law, some of those, but it doesn't tell you like what you actually have to do day in and day out in this business. I don't know, about a year ago, we started a conversation. You joined a team. So why a real estate team versus solo agent?
Well, it's two things. When you're a solo agent, unless you have a really good accountability partner, you have to be accountable. Right. And it's kind of hard to be accountable sometimes in your day-to-day life because you're looking for business. Pretty much, I was looking for business everywhere. If I seen how you can obtain a business, I was trying to do it, and I didn't have a good structure, how to really do one platform at a time instead of doing 5 platforms at a time and not really hitting those goals I needed to hit. If that could probably change the way I was doing my business, but you do need somebody to hold you accountable in this business, and structure. You have to have structure. That's one of the things that I lacked when I was doing it as a solo agent. It's not that I wasn't like lazy or anything like that.
It
was just. I
saw Lenny everywhere.
Yeah,
that's why I was like, I want to work with Lenny someday.
You see me everywhere when I should have just been focused on that one specific at that time.
Right.
And just well, being on the team, it's just our camaraderie is just amazing. When we say we're family, yes, we are really a family over there, and it's just besides all the fun we have, we do get in there and we grind every single morning, every single day, and that just shines in your business, And I was just as a solo agent going back, I was reaching for a lot of things, and like I come back to this point of I should have just been focused. If I was focused on this one thing, how could my business have changed? But that's where a team came in for me and said, hey, let's just pump the brakes. Let's just not start over, but let's just see where your skill set's at.
Right. I think that's important.
Yeah, and you have to really play onto your skill sets. And, and you guys were able to slow me down and say, hey, let's just try this for
well, I think of you and Tim, who banter back and forth quite often in our office.
Tim Petiti, my buddy.
And how different your business plan is, right? Like if right, like you mentioned earlier, you're better face to face, right? Like you're better in conversation when you can look somebody in the eye. And Tim's business is built on like, how do I take online lead, right? And so you can just look inside of even our team and say, hey, we're right. Like everybody's different. Everybody has a skill set that you're born with, and how do we lean into that skill set?
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. And I learn a lot from everybody in there. Tim especially. If I say he's so young, but he's a guru. But I do learn how to do that other side of business. I'm not comfortable with, and it's great to get out of your comfort zone and explore that because it just opens more opportunities for you in this business.
Right.
I welcome all challenges when it comes to real estate. There's nothing I shy away from. I kick and scream down the road, but you know that.
Yeah.
But we get it done on a daily basis.
Well, I even think about like some of the early days of Lenny scripting, right?
Oh, gosh.
You were just in your head.
Yes,
right?
I was.
Lenny, you have it, and it, it is a skill set though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, the what you say, how you say it, right? Like is super important in real estate.
Yeah.
It not to mention it's arguably one of the most challenging. Like I would say this market today is probably just as challenging as 2009 or 10, right? When nothing was selling in Brevard County, because right now our inventory is ballooned up.
Yep.
Buyers don't want to buy with the current interest rates.
Nope.
Sellers who have great interest rates don't want to sell.
Yep.
And so we're kind of at this stale market that's like, well, I don't want to lose that rate, and I don't want to buy at that rate.
Yeah.
You know? And so as agents, I think, it's super important. And that's what I've loved seeing you blossom into somebody who can take a script and, right, I think it was like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
It was like all of a sudden the light bulb went on.
Yeah.
You were like, nope, I got it. I can do it. And all it took was us doing it every day.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yep. Absolutely.
We did it 3 weeks for every day. And now you can just jump right into.
Yeah, I know that. But
and it's not necessarily, I hate the word script too, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
People think like, oh, we're salespeople, we're telemarketers with scripts, right? And it's not. It's about serving families and getting that family. Like the script that we're talking about is in canceled and expired,
Yep.
right? Like their dream of selling that home and moving to that next chapter, next home, didn't happen for whatever reason.
Yep.
And so it's part of our duty almost, right? Like I see it as part of if I'm an agent and I can help you move to that next chapter, there was a reason you put your home on the market.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how do we get you to that next chapter? What's the one thing though that you love about real estate?
The one thing is,
you had to say one thing that you loved about real estate.
Well, the one thing, everybody would, I don't know what everybody would say because I'm not of them, but I gotta go back to families. Watching people shine when they achieve that goal is just it's another beast in itself. Mm-hmm. That's exactly why I got into it. I mean, I help so many families, and it's just I don't know. It's something else that you were part of that. Being part of something great. You want to be part of something great. You experience that right there. Other people, I guess it's money. Other people, it's something else. But for me, it's just actually watching families achieve their goals into home ownership.
Super powerful.
Yeah, it is. It's something else.
As you were talking, I was trying to think of like what other industry or profession where you get to help somebody, with their lifetime wealth.
Yeah.
Financial planners. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But not everybody's cut out, right? Like the first step of wealth building, we believe inside of our team is home ownership.
Yep.
Right? Yep. The average net worth of a renter versus the average net worth of a homeowner is drastically different inside the U.S.
Yeah, it is.
I can't think of another industry where, maybe if you work in the emergency room and you got to save somebody's life, right? Like that. Yes, I save them on the table.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Yeah, that's a totally different thing. But yes.
But you don't have to go through 17 years of schooling and crazy student debt, right?
Nope.
Like you can get into real estate and even in your journey, right? Like you didn't jump in 100% full fledged, right? Because it is hard.
It is.
It's something like 85% failure rate in the first 2 years, right? And so that's not a stat to just kind of dismiss.
No,
right? 85% of people who get into it
facts.
get out. Yeah. So,
and it's funny, PJ, because we did see that when it was like buddies sitting next to you, and then boom, they're gone. Like what is going on? And it does make you a little nervous that did I make the right decision? But you just gotta stick to your guns and know that you did make the right decision. If this, like you said, I'm a people person. I love talking to people. Yeah. I love helping people. I love being around people, and that was my driving force. Yeah. Yes, I'm good at this. I know I have years and years and years of sales behind me. I talked to so many people years and years time ago, and I knew that I can do this, and this is what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I was listening to Alex Hermosi, who I love, talk about, right, like entrepreneurship. And as real estate agents, we are all entrepreneurs, right? Like you were starting and growing and building a business, even though you're attached to a team or attached to a brokerage, you're still building Lenny's business, right? And I think as entrepreneurs, the biggest challenge is that, we worry in the back of our head, did we put in all this time and effort to fail, right? Like, and that hit me differently, because I think that's something that we talk about inside of our team, right? Like, we are building a business. We want to teach people how to fish, not just how to,
how to eat. Yes.
Right. And did you waste all of these nights and weekends, right? Like, real estate is weekends.
Yeah, it is. Oh, yeah, it is.
When you're running 2 open houses, you got buyers all over town, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, and you're trying to think, like, am I going to be part of that 85% failure, or am I going to be that 15%? And I think always in the back of our mind is like, am I going to do all of this for nothing, right? Like, and it's not for nothing, because all of those families that you were able to help,
that's
absolutely, right? Like that builds inside of you a little bit, but it would be a shame, right?
Yeah.
Like,
you're right. It's I think when it comes to, when you look at the numbers of the 85% that failed, and you say, were they really in it for, what were they really in it for? And I think a big part of that is they were looking for, I hate to say it, the payday.
Yeah, the easy payday.
The easy payday.
They thought it was easy, and it looked like it was good money.
Exactly. I'm glad I didn't come in it for that.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't. It's great to have a great paycheck. Yes, great. But I'm glad that's not my focus of why I want to do this business and why I came onto the team to help me grow my business. Right. Because otherwise I could have just checked out just like everybody else and be like, you know what, this is just too hard.
Yeah.
Or
I'll be part-time and I'll sell 1 or 2 houses.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
whatever I get, right?
Right.
Like, what else do you do what do you enjoy doing?
Oh, my goodness. I have a laundry list of things I love to do. One, first and foremost, I am a single dad. I love being a father. That's probably the best joy of my life. Watching my daughter grow, who's going to be 20 soon. It's just, just something I don't ever take for granted. But
I have no
hobbies, yeah.
Wait, let's just, before we get into hobbies, because I have a client that's a single dad of 2 boys, and I am always like, how do you raise an amazing young woman to soon to be 20?
Yeah.
Like,
in college, goes to school. Goes to work. She's just a trooper, man. And I would love to say, I have part of her rubbing off on me, but just her mindset of everything, how she does things is just, you watch her, you step back and watch her, which is hard for any dad to do, just step there and watch their daughter grow, is because you always want to be involved. Yeah. Sometimes you got to learn to step back. But yeah, just to watch her grow is just into this amazing woman it's mind blowing. You're like, wow, it just takes my breath away every time.
I have no idea.
I'm
in awe.
It is something that, it's just something you just step back and say.
Any parent that is a single parent should be a superhero, right? You should be on a Marvel character, because that's truly amazing.
You don't do it alone. It's always family, friends, and God. So, yeah.
True.
You don't do it alone. You have to let those, like almost real estate, you have to let those people in to help you out.
Yeah.
Yeah. In order to grow your business, in order to help you grow your family. So yeah, you have to let those people in. But my second love, riding motorcycles.
Riding motorcycles.
I am a gearhead. I don't know where it started, but
yeah, where did it start?
Oh,
that's
man.
my question, because I've never asked you that.
Riding motorcycles when I was younger with my friends. Just jumping on bikes. As a young.
What's your first favorite bike?
Oh, first favorite.
First love on 2 wheels.
It was my friend Dougie's Honda Rebel.
Honda Rebel?
Back in the 80s, yeah.
Yep.
Back in the 80s, yeah.
What'd you love about that bike?
It was low to the ground. It was a cruiser. He had big ape hangers on that thing, so that was my favorite bike. Just felt like I was so cool, just out of a movie. Just and it just kind of like stuck with me, you know. And I always been one of those kids that just loved to adventure. I was always adventurous. Growing up on the western side of Massachusetts, farmland and mountains. That's all you really got.
Right.
And then we did a lot of adventuring, riding motorcycles, riding horses, camping, fishing, hiking, you know, those kind of things, building forts. But yeah, but I'm glad riding motorcycles came back around to me because I really enjoyed that part of my life. So, and I do ride all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have a bobber. I don't know if you know what those are, cruiser motorcycle bobbers. And I just, every chance I can get, I'm on it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What colors is that bike, Lenny?
Oh, man. It is green. It is Philadelphia Eagles green. If anybody's seen my bike around, a lot of people have seen it. It has
So
Eagles
Western Massachusetts, and then become an Eagles fan.
Yeah.
Break that one down.
Oh, man. My brother told me to pick a team. I picked the Eagles.
Why?
I love the green. I love birds. And that he said, you can't change the team. Okay. So
What was his team?
at the time, it was New England Patriots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Everybody was a Patriot fan in Massachusetts. So,
Right.
yeah. They hated me.
Wait, so he told you pick a team, but it can't be the Patriots? Or
Nope.
you were just like,
No.
nope, I'm not picking the same team as my brother and everybody else?
I seen the green and the Eagles. That was my thing. And then I put two and two together that Dr. J was Philadelphia. I was like, oh, that's it. That's a wrap. Yeah.
Yeah, often during football season, Lenny will say, my team. I meant my real estate team, right? That's the running joke inside of it.
Yeah. But
All right, so riding bikes, what else?
Oh yeah. Fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah. One great love, even fishing in Massachusetts was nice. You get your selected few of fish and fresh water. But down here, fishing down here was just a totally different thing for me down here. So many species of fish, and I just wanted to catch every single one of them, and bigger the better. But that is my solace time. That is my me time. Almost like riding motorcycles because I'm a solo rider. That is my time to connect and reflect, get back to just to think. Think about my game plan. Think about what's next on the next day. What's my accomplishments should be for the following day. There's just a recharge because I can't say I work all the time, but because I have a strenuous schedule, that's one thing I really do love. You know, it just puts me back on track.
Yeah. Yeah. Western Massachusetts?
Western Mass.
So that's like more lake and stream and type?
You don't get any no oceans over there.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was.
So definitely fresh water and.
Where's the better fishing? Is the correct question.
Good question. I hate to do this to my Massachusetts brethren, but Florida, by far.
I think it's a little unfair.
It is.
You got the intercoastal, the ocean. You can go into a lake if you want to.
Exactly. You got so many, varieties of fish. But yeah, Florida has the best fishing by far, and by size weight too. So.
Right.
Oh yeah. I think growing up there, it was fantastic. As a kid growing up there, it was absolutely fantastic. Growing up. 4 seasons, short summers, but you had, fall, autumn, which was amazing, and going into wintertime. But as I got older, I said, I want to be where there's more sun. Mm-hmm. You don't want to be a shut-in for 6 months out of the year, or 4 or 5, 6 months out of the year. So, yeah, that's why I ventured down here. My brother was stationed down here from when he was in the Air Force.
Okay. So followed some family down here?
Yeah, absolutely. He was kind enough, him and his family. It's like, hey, come on down, visit. And I visited. I was like, well, I visited previously, but then I really wanted to stake my roots down here. So
yeah. I think of all the people, all the agents that I talk to, right? Like, you really love this county too.
Oh man, everybody thinks I'm crazy for that. Why is that?
No,
Well,
you just love it, and I do too.
Do love Brevard.
So don't shy away from it.
And I'll give you my little reasons. When I came down there, like I said, my brother was like, hey, nice enough to say, hey, stay here for a bit and get your own place. I said, okay, great. I did a lot of traveling. I did travel a lot of places in Florida, and I traveled Daytona. I went over the West Coast, went down Fort Myers, in that area, and then a little bit south. But I just felt like nothing beats Brevard.
Why?
Even though it was at the time when I came down, there was really nothing here. I mean, yeah, it was really nothing here, but it's so quiet, but it was so close to everything that if you wanted to go and venture out. But you came back nice and quiet.
So what year did you move to Brevard County?
1998.
98.
1998. Yeah, 98, end of 98, beginning of 99.
Okay. So you're, for all intents and purposes, you're
everybody says I'm Floridian.
Yeah, you're now a native.
Yeah.
Give it a few more years and you can hit your 30 years down here, right? What do you love about Brevard County, though?
Everybody thinks it's crazy, but the people, I do. There's a collective of people that live in Brevard, and I'm pretty sure that they're everywhere else too. But, and just the people in general, the people you meet on a daily basis over here, it never ranges from your blue collar workers to your high ends, and everybody's just pretty much on an even keel about wanting to talk to you, being social, being kind. I have not really ran into somebody. I just really was just like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna, I can't believe this. But no, it's just in general, just the atmosphere around here, going to the beach. Just things you do around your daily.
Well, you chose to raise your daughter here.
Yes, I did.
So
there was a reason. There was a reason for that. Like I said, it was a nice, quiet town when I got here, and it's still pretty quiet, rather than going over to like Orlando or
right.
major cities. And I can't explain it. It's just one of those things I really can't explain.
So what did you do when you first moved down to Brevard County?
Oh, what I do?
Yeah.
As far as like work?
Yeah, you didn't jump into real estate when you moved here in 99.
I GM'd a restaurant. That's what I was doing. Just a little fast food restaurant. And I just, because I love people. And that's what, I love food.
Yes,
I love
that's
food.
Where I was going with this question.
I love food. But yeah, and those two was my niche of what I like to do. So what better way to tend to get in front of people and enjoy some food. So
right. Well, it's important, right? Because you came from a service background.
Yes.
Right? I think it's very hard for somebody who doesn't understand customer service, who doesn't understand sales, to get into the business because they, it's like, well, what do you mean you want to talk it?
It really helps. Not that if you don't, you're not going to make it, but it really does help.
Service and teachers. Those are the two that I see
the most of when it comes to being a realtor, right? Correct.
Right.
Yes. I think being in the service industry not only helped my business grow, but it did. It changed. It changed the way I was thinking about how this business was gonna go, and it made me stick to my guns of, hey, this is what you're good at. Mm-hmm. Don't try to pretend like you're not. Don't try to pretend like you're something that you're not.
Right.
And I didn't want to. I'm glad I didn't fall into that other salesy side of it. Like I'm just going to sell houses. I just want to put a numbers game up. But if I continue to what I wanted to do and help people, I was hitting my goal.
If somebody doesn't know Lenny, and they're potentially thinking about real estate, what should they know about Lenny Giles? Or why would somebody want to work with Lenny Giles?
Oh, okay. Good question. Because there's thousands of realtors in the area. You already know that. One, this is your biggest asset. And so that being said, your biggest asset is my biggest asset and my biggest priority. I treat it as my own. I'm not a miser, but I don't like wasting money. So I'm very, I can't say competitive, but I like to make sure you're getting the biggest bang for your dollar. And I'm not afraid to go to bat for you 100% on that. I find out that judging by my past clients, I was more relatable. I was patient in their time because you don't want to be rushed through a process of buying a home. I just made the process easier by not being so pushy, not being so demanding of what they should be doing, but I was also knowledgeable in my craft of what I do. I had a lot of resources for just to make the process a little easier for you. What lenders to use, where you should be, where that house stands in the market. Just things like that.
Well, you're passionate about
I am
the clients in which you work with,
very,
right?
very passionate about the clients. Yes,
I think that's an important point that you made, right? Like you treat their largest asset as your largest asset.
correct.
I think that's something that's missing, right? Like we talk about that often, right? Like I hate the term realtor, right?
Yeah.
Like I want to be your real estate advisor.
Right. Yes.
Right. I want to be the person that sets you on this journey of it, right? And you showcase that at such a high level, right? Like,
Yeah.
It's hard to put into words, right?
It is.
Like what exactly that looks like, but it's the care, the compassion, the communication,
Yep.
the care is a big one, though. I think a lot of salespeople don't care to the level that you care.
Yeah. Oh, by far, by far. I do take pride in the fact that I stand out like that. Like a lot of, like I said, my reviews, a lot of it's like you can see that in their writing, and it's a laundry list of things I can do, and a few of the big things that stick out is like I do care about their base assets. I do care whether they're not ready now or they're going to be ready later. I don't like being pushy like that because like I said, it's the biggest asset. So you want them to be ready when they're ready, and it's not ready when I'm ready. Because a lot of agents do miss that opportunity when they say, "Okay, well, I don't have time for it because you're not ready to pull the trigger." And being on the team, you guys has also pushed that, and that's what some of the issues that drove me to the team, because we had the same things in common about how to treat customers and clients and friends and guests and family. And I didn't want that to be a rush process because I wanted to make a dollar. Right. So I wanted to make sure I was on their page and on their time.
Yeah. Well, and I think it shows because I don't know of any agent that's more compassionate about their community as well, right?
Oh, yes.
Like Lenny's on this mission to become mayor of Melbourne.
Yeah.
He's not going to become. Well, we haven't talked about it, but
what? No.
We're going to put it on video that Lenny's going to become the mayor of Melbourne.
Let's slow that down.
But you care about the community, like your personal neighborhood.
Yes,
right?
absolutely. My neighborhood, it's an amazing neighborhood. If you houses, I want to say don't stay on the market long in there, but generally they don't.
Well, they don't come on the market.
They don't. Yeah, exactly. They don't come. It is because of our community. If you ever lived in Tallwood North Development, you'll know. It's just a small little development, but it's such a great neighborhood. You want to you when you search for houses, a lot of people search for houses because they look for this structural thing, and you're like that's all great.
Yeah.
But really, you want to know what your community is like. You want to know what your neighbors like, and I do stress that when I'm showing houses as well. And
It's
I
hard
point
to figure
those
out.
I point those things out to them. I was like, hey, not every day you're gonna get a lot of people walking their dogs or playing, kids playing, and if you want that kind of thing, but that shows a great, strong community, and my community is like that. And I was just before I was coming here to do the shoot, I had to stop and talk to some folks in my community,
Right.
just to say, hey,
Was it yesterday or the day before? I was on the phone or on Zoom, and Lenny's like, "Hey, how you doing, neighbor?" Da, da, da.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
There's the mayor, Lenny.
Yeah, I just love my community, and we are very passionate about our community. Everyone in there as well. Otherwise, they wouldn't pick to live there. And we got a nice big function coming up, and we put that together. It's going to be a community cookout.
Yeah.
I started a Facebook page for it, for our community, and it's just what when we first started, I was like, oh, three people. Three people. Now I'm almost 50 deep. I think it was like 40, 45, 50 deep into it right now, and it's been only a few weeks. And so just and I door knocked everybody, but it was great because there's a side of our business, and we're going for business and door knocking, whatever. But it was really nice to door knock my community and not try to get business.
Right. You're there to help the community.
Yeah, it was amazing, and it went over really well. And the people that you talk to and the things that is needed that you would never have known if you didn't actually just say, hey, neighbor, how you doing and what can we do? And I met some really, really great people along the way, and I can't wait to see them on our community cookout. It's coming up, and it's just going to blossom from that point on. And you have a neighbor who needs something, and then you have the neighbor who can give something. You match those two people together, or you match the community together, and actually it all started off, PJ, because one of our neighbors' dog went missing, and she knocked on my door. I was like, I'm sorry, I did not see the dog, and had I known about it, maybe I was looking for it. So, and that's just a quick way to connect us, and I ping on your page and be like, oh, lost dog. Okay, everybody search it. Just make it happen a little faster.
Right. It's funny because the reason, as I'm listening to you, the reason that you love Brevard County is what you're doing inside of Brevard County, right?
Yeah.
Like you are bringing community together. How can I find a need from a neighbor and find another neighbor who can give? Like,
absolutely.
I don't think there's anything more powerful than that. Like,
like I said,
not everybody can give with money. Not everybody can give with time.
Yep.
But if you bring community together, you start to really connect those dots.
Yes, absolutely. I just, I'm just really, I'm pleasantly surprised and pleased that they were very, very open arms and welcome when I was pitching the idea of starting a community page and starting to get-togethers and mini micro events and stuff like that, and yeah. When you knock on doors, you just never know what to expect. And
I got a story on that one, actually. Now that you bring up knocking doors, the first buyer, Lenny and I were going to show a buyer. She was driving up from South Florida, somewhere in South Homestead, Florida, right? And she was like an hour and a half late. And I'm like walking through a new construction house, like A, picking it apart, and then B, like looking at all the things that they've done at a high level. I'm like, where's Lenny? Where'd he go? Like, Lenny's just gone. It's hot too. It's like middle of summer.
Yeah, it was.
I'm like, I'm staying in the air condition. She's an hour and a half late. Where'd Lenny go? Lenny is just out knocking on doors, meeting neighbors of a house that he's never known, right? And so I think that's also important, right? Like that shows a different side of you than most people would be willing to be able to do, and I think it shows grit.
Yeah,
right? Like. You're like, hey, if I have an opportunity to meet somebody, I'm going to go meet him.
Yeah.
I got a free hour.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna knock on their door and say, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
We're just showing the house next door, and
that's exactly what it was. We were just showing the house next door. I just was curious about the neighborhood, and and I met some.
99% of people won't do that.
Because I think that 99, the mindset is totally different when it comes to just wanting to meet people and trying to draw for business.
Yeah.
I really was curious about the neighborhood, and I really was curious about the neighbors in the neighborhood. And, you meet a lot of great people that way. And who doesn't want to meet great people, If I could be one of those faces that somebody says, hey, I've met that guy. He's pretty cool, and that's pretty a big deal for me, and I think I hope my daughter does see that I'm a fantastic a guy besides a dad, and I want people when she come across and they're like, hey, I know your dad. He's pretty amazing, I met him, and that makes her proud, and that really is a driving force for me to. You want your child to be proud of you, and you want to be proud of your child, but it is very important that they are looking at you in a different light as well.
Yeah. What I'm hearing there is legacy.
Yeah, absolutely, So, and my mom, God rest her soul, she left a really great legacy, and I guess I'm trying to emulate some of that. And she was a wonderful, wonderful lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shows.
Thanks.